Bonjour tout le monde! It is so good to see you all. And sisters and brothers from across the country, welcome to Ontario. It is you, our members, our activists, our new democratic youth, and our sisters and brothers in the labor movement, the founding partner of this party. You are the beating heart and the soul of Canada's New Democrats. And I want to start by thanking you all for your dedication to building a better country. And let me say how exciting it is for me to be here with our new leader and my friend, Jagmeet Singh. Right? Look, we're all here because we know a better future is possible for every Canadian. A future with more public services, not less. A future where we take better care of each other and better care of the land, the air, and the water that we share. A future where we do not accept growing inequality, but actually fight to create a more equitable society for everyone. And a future where every Canadian can get the health care you need and the medications that you're prescribed without reaching into your pocket and pulling out your credit card. You know, some of you in the room might know that here in Ontario, we're just about 100 days away from Election Day. And let me tell you all, Ontario's New Democrats are in it to win it. Yes, yes we are. We are in it to win it. You know, the Liberals and Conservatives are going to try. They're going to try real hard to ignore the Ontario NDP's momentum. They will try to get folks to settle for fewer and fewer public services as though that's how it's got to be. And they want folks to believe that change just means switching back and forth between a government that cuts and a government that keeps on cutting. Well, my friends, it doesn't have to be that way. It does not have to be that way. Ontarians don't have to choose between bad and worse, because New Democrats have a plan that offers hope and a plan to move Ontario forward. A plan to deliver change for the better. And that's exactly what the people of Ontario want. You know, I think of some of the people I've met over the years. Recently, a woman named Jamie Lee from Brampton. Jamie Lee is a young woman who was rushed to Brampton Civic Hospital, bleeding internally and in a heck of a lot of pain. Jamie spent 5 agonizing nights on a stretcher in a crowded hallway because there was no hospital bed available for her. And sadly, we all know Jamie's far from alone. I think of another woman I met. Her name is Olive. Olive's a woman in her 80s from Sudbury. Olive needed a hospital bed, and instead, she spent 3 weeks in a TV lounge, in a lounge. She was even wheeled into a shower room for one night and left there. Her local hospital was bursting at the seams, and there was no room for her when Olive needed care. Our incredible healthcare workers are doing everything they can, but this is happening to folks every single day in every part of Ontario, and it breaks my heart. But more than that, it fires me up. It drives me to work harder every single day because there is so much at stake here in Ontario. You know, Kathleen Wynne and the Liberals have made life harder for families and for seniors. They've cut our hospitals and cut our public services to the bone. And now the Conservatives have a platform that calls for another $6.1 billion in cuts. Well, that's not change. That's a plan to do even more damage. You know, no matter who the Conservatives pick as their next leader, whether it's a Mulroney or a Ford or the same old Brown, more Conservative cuts are not the answer for Ontario. Nous devons changer les choses pour un Ontario meilleur, agissant ensemble. We need change for the better. New Democrats are running to restore our public services. And we're running to fight for the good jobs that every worker deserves. Jobs with good paychecks, benefits, and the rights that the union movement has fought so hard to win and continues to fight so hard to keep. We will raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour for everyone in Ontario. And we will introduce card check certification and first contract arbitration for every worker in Ontario. Because a union card, and everybody in this room knows it, a union card is a ticket into the middle class, and it's time more working people get that ticket. We are not going to settle for the damage that those other parties have done. We are going to start to undo the damage that cuts and privatization have done to this great province. Look at our electricity system. It belongs in public hands. But Kathleen Wynne sold off Hydro One. Now families are struggling to pay sky-high bills, and under the Liberal and Conservative plans, hydro bills will skyrocket again right after the election. You know, just this week, the Independent Financial Accountability Officer said that the sell-off of Hydro One will cost the people of Ontario nearly $300 million each and every year, and cost the province billions more to build the infrastructure that we need. We are not just going to accept that. We are not just going to settle for that. We are going to change it. In our plan, making Hydro One public again is job number one. We will reverse this privatization scheme. We will bring Hydro One back into public ownership, and we will lower hydro rates by about 30% for everyone, because that's what public ownership does. It means we can own more of and pay less for our hydro. It's time to get good things done. And there is so much good that we can do. Nous devons changer les choses. On va le faire ensemble. It's time to fight climate change and make sure polluters pay the biggest price. It's time to elect more women and change politics and our society for the better. Oh, yes, it sure is. It sure as heck is time for far more women in politics. And it's time to work with First Nations to take meaningful steps towards reconciliation. You know, there is no excuse in the year 2018, no excuse for anyone in Ontario to live without clean drinking water, without safe housing, and without proper health care. There is no excuse whatsoever. So let's change it. If the federal government keeps dragging its feet, we're not just going to stand by. We're not just going to stand by and watch another generation suffer from the horrible legacy of colonialism. We are going to work with First Nations. We're going to work with First Nations to close the education gap, to get clean drinking water to each and every household, to deliver proper health care and safe housing. You know, sometimes the world is as simple as right and wrong. And we're going to do these things because that's what's right. And then we're going to send the bill down the street to Justin Trudeau where it belongs. Look, in a country as wealthy as Canada, we can change people's lives for the better. That's what this great party has always been about. And it was our first leader, Tommy Douglas, who gave us such an inspiring example of how to get good things done. He gave us such an inspiring example of why we run and why we run to win. Tommy knew that health care was a right. So he did something about it. New Democrats created Medicare and then proved that it would work not just in one province, but for this entire country. Today, people are counting on us once again. They need a leader that will take the next step to build universal public health care in this country. Today, there are millions of people across our country and in our province, millions of people who don't take their medication because they can't afford it. People sit at their kitchen table and they cut their pills in half to make the bottle last a little longer. That is just not right. It is just not right. And I want to applaud the work that the labor movement is doing on this particular issue. And I know that our federal party is with me on this. No one should have to go without the prescriptions they need just because they can't afford to buy them. And I can tell you that when Ontario's New Democrats win on June the 7th, we will lead the way by creating Canada's first universal pharmacare program for everyone. We will deliver a prescription drug plan for every Ontarian, no matter how old you are, no matter how much money you make, no matter what your health status is. Just like Tommy did. We will start building it in one province, and we won't stop until every Canadian has pharmacare. You know, for too long, people have been told to settle for less than what's right. And this time, my friends, this time the people of Ontario do not have to settle. New Democrats will give people hope. We will turn the page on decades of cuts and privatization. We will start to undo the damage, and we will deliver change for the better. That's what this election is all about, and it is up to us to make it happen. So let's go out there and let's knock on every door. Let's reach out. Reach out to our neighbors. Reach out to our friends. Reach out to our co-workers. Let's build on our momentum for change. Let's elect an incredible team of New Democrats on June the 7th. And together, my friends, let's form government and let's get good things done. Merci beaucoup, my friends. Miigwech. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the convention.
Wherever this flag's flown, we take care of